I'm Dana K. White. I'm the author of Decluttering at the Speed of Life. I'm the creator of the No Mess Decluttering Process. And I'm so excited because today we're decluttering a craft room. People who struggle with clutter and people who are highly creative tend to do this like in a Venn diagram. Basically, it's a total overlap, right? Like creativity and clutter go together. Even if you don't have a craft room, you're going to see how to make hard decisions about things you absolutely might use one day, about things you absolutely love, and make real progress decluttering even in that kind of a situation, okay? But there's more. So today I am doing a 1 hour better with Cara Brandon of Cara Brandon Creation. She's a YouTuber. She is highly creative. She has an Etsy shop. She has a whole craft room. She's got all the things, right? Like she has the reasons to keep these things, and yet her craft room needed to be decluttered. Well, she reached out to me and said, I do this organizing challenge with other crafting YouTubers, and would you be willing to kind of participate because your method is the one that I have, found successful before? And I said, yeah, and I've got an idea. So what we have is a playlist that you will find in the description of this video with not just my session doing a 1 hour better decluttering session with Cara, but also other decluttering sessions that my decluttering coaches who are certified in my No Mess process are doing with other crafting YouTubers. So there's lots that you can watch. There's so much you're going to understand about how to make hard decisions about your stuff using your space and your reality as your deciding factor. Okay, here we go. Here's my session, 1 hour better, decluttering using the No Mess process with Cara.
The space is used for multiple different purposes. And right now it's just kind of overwhelming because all of that, yeah, let's just get a good view. All of that, and this is only one part. Like you can't see the hot mess over here, and don't even go in my closet because I can't open or close the doors. Like,
here's what we're going to do. We are going to set the timer for 1 hour. We are not going to create a bigger mess. Okay. All we're going to do is make progress so that at the end of the hour, whatever we've done, and your space is better. And there's nothing left for you to do after that hour. You can just feel good about the hour that you did. This is the No Mess decluttering process. Okay.
all right.
So I'm going to start my timer. 1 hour. Here we go. So what I want you to do is start picking, throwing away trash. That's it. Our goal is to clear that out. So anything you can find, access, whatever, would be great. Yeah.
This is for our new air mattress that my brother-in-law slept on.
Okay, stop. Yeah. Don't move it onto the counter.
Okay.
Go ahead and leave it where it was because we're not going to clutter up your counter. That's our goal. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So at this point, just look for trash. What we're doing as we look for trash, it is, yes, it's about the trash, but it's also that you're now starting to see what all's here, which then gets you ready for the next step. Where before it was just a pile, right? Where now you're like, oh, I know what's here. I know what I may be dealing with. Is that trash?
I could take what's in here out, and this would be trash.
Yeah, do that. Go ahead and put it in the spot where it goes, and we can throw that whole box away.
In this area, I think that's all the trash.
Perfect. Okay, next, let's do what's easy. When I say let's look for what's easy, what I mean is what already has a home.
Okay.
Somewhere else in the house. So that thing that your brother-in-law, whatever, you knew immediately, oh, I know what to do with that, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's not fun to take it there now, but go ahead and take it to where it actually goes.
Okay.
Now, if there's anything else that also goes in that same general direction that you can take in the same handful, do that.
Okay.
It took you less than 30 seconds to do that.
Nice.
Okay. So that's it's a big part of what we're doing, right? Is going ahead and taking things there now so that it's done and it's not set aside like on the counter, like your natural tendencies to do, right?
Right.
Okay. Is there anything else that is easy? Like you already know where it goes? So it's procrastinator because it's stuff that you're like, oh, I'll do that later. I'll do that later. I'll do that later. Right. And sometimes when you are in the midst of the decluttering project, it feels like, oh, I should be making other harder decisions. But if we can get that stuff out of here, like you're making a big impact on this space just by doing these things that you're not having to do any like quote unquote real decluttering yet, right? Like this space is better. Yeah.
I think that's the easy stuff.
Yeah. That's the easy step. So there's value in going in order. Do the trash, do the easy stuff, get that stuff out of there. So then you open up and let yourself see what all it is that there is to really deal with.
Oh, this is the part I don't want to do. I don't know where to put this other stuff. That's the problem.
That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Okay. Is there anything in there that is actually an obvious donation that you're like, oh, I've been meaning to donate that or whatever? It's fine if there's not, but let's just look.
No.
Okay. All right. Then next, I want you to pick up an item that's over there and we will decide what to do with it. If you were looking for those Christmas embellishments, where would you look for them first? Don't decide. Don't come up with the best place. Just go, okay, realistically, if this floor was clear, which is my goal, right? If this floor was clear and I needed Christmas embellishments, what's the first drawer I would open? Where's the first place I would go? Even if I didn't know for sure they'd be there, but it's the place I would look first.
In my closet with the Christmas stuff.
Okay.
However, a lot of Christmas stuff is out now because I'm using it.
But if that's where you would look for it, that's where it needs to go.
Okay.
Okay. And I know you said that your closet was overwhelming. Are you willing for us to look at it? What we're seeing here is your closet. Our goal right now is the floor. Our goal is to clear the floor. So the closet is its own project, and that's fine. Like this is reality. Like this is how most people's craft rooms are going to be, right? Within that closet where you would look for these first, where in the closet would you look for them first?
Up there with my Christmas box.
Is there any room for it there? Is there any trash that's obvious that you can get to and you're like, I'm going to go ahead and take this out so that even though I'm putting Christmas embellishments in here, I'm not actually making it worse because there's something else that can go. Okay. I think the reality is something needs to go from that closet.
Oh, there's a lot.
So what is it that is not as important to you as these Christmas embellishments?
Oh. I think maybe the Christmas embellishments are less important than what I have stored in there.
I mean, okay.
Is that crazy?
That's not crazy. That's how this works. That's how but by going and facing that reality, that's what reveals to you these are not as important.
Right.
Are you willing to let them go?
Storage container is nice.
True, but it looks like you've got a lot of storage containers.
Okay, so am I donating this?
Well, don't you think somebody would be thrilled?
Yep. Okay, this was a mystery box from this company, and I have all of these. I already know what you're going to ask, and I'm going to put this where my other paper is.
Can you put those things you just set on your desk back in that box so we don't end up cluttering your desk? We're trying to not put ourselves in a situation where we end up with a bigger mess.
Because my paper is right there. Of embellishments is probably where I would go to look for this.
That tub is the limit.
Okay.
So all of the things they sent you are beautiful, right?
Yes.
You didn't necessarily pick them. So what I want you to do is out of the things that they sent you, just without pulling them all out, pick your favorites out of the grab bag that you got and put them into this container.
All right. Favorite? I don't know about this.
Okay, then don't wait. wait on that. I mean, unless you're like, you know what, it's an obvious donation to me.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But you want me to put it back in the box?
The box that it was in?
Yeah. Just
okay.
Or can I set it here for a second?
No, don't set it here for a second. We don't set anything anywhere for a second.
All right. I like these a lot.
Okay, great. You're basically just putting them in here, but you're putting your favorites in first so that if it fills up, you've already kind of sorted out.
And then I just have this.
Okay, that's the stuff that you were hesitant about?
Yeah, I don't love it, but I could possibly use it someday.
Okay, then the reality is if there's space in this container, it's fine. If the container was full and there wasn't space, that you would let that container make that decision for you. But because there's space, it's perfectly fine to keep it. Look at the difference that we've made.
These are donate. And then my thread I have in my top drawer. And thimbles, I would probably...
Nope, don't say probably. Where would you look for it first?
I'm going in here. I have dental floss.
Where would you look first for dental floss?
In my bathroom.
Is it worth walking to the bathroom, or would you rather just get rid of it? Go with the thing that's in your hand.
I don't wanna.
No, we're gonna do it. Okay, so
okay.
Where would you look first for that?
Sort of, I do. Right here. So these are Dollar Tree things, and I was gonna make a Dollar Tree video using Christmas stuff. And so that's why I put it in a bucket, because it's for a future video, but I can put it in my Dollar Tree box.
If there's not room, you need to say, okay, then what is in this Dollar Tree bin that needs to be taken out?
These just drive me nuts. This is crumpled, so I'm going to put this in here too. This is trash.
Like, you thought that was going to be so hard. Was it hard?
No.
No.
I did think it was going to be hard, but no, it was not hard.
Okay, now where would you look for that container first? Is there a room for that container to go in there with those? Is there anything in that container bin that actually you're like, oh, actually I could let that go?
Probably this one.
Okay, so now that gives you room for that container you're holding.
But these, I think when I'm going through the closet and other things on my desk, these will be useful for later.
Okay, so is there anything easy in the closet that is obvious trash or donation that you could get rid of so that those would have an actual spot?
I'm going to get rid of this.
Was that painful?
No.
You were like, what am I going to do with these things? Right?
Right.
Now they have an actual home, and it wasn't actually painful because this is the container concept, right? The size of your closet is the size of your closet, which means you can't keep everything, which means, oh, these things are really good. Wait, is there anything that's less good than this? And when you look at it that way, you were like, oh, this can go. And that was like a whole, 3 or 4 items, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think I get hung up on the fact, like, the Dollar Tree box is a perfect example. Like, okay, well, I really should declutter this. And then that leads to decluttering this. You know what I mean? And then it's like this cycle. And then instead of starting any of it, I'm like, I'm just not going to do any of it.
What you just said is exactly most people's issue with decluttering, right?
Right.
But you solved that. We solved that today, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, these are Dollar Tree things. Oh, I can't put anything in there because that means I have to go through it. No. I'm just going to say, was there anything easy? And you went through that in like seconds. Like you were like, oh, this, and this can go. There's probably more stuff in there that could go.
Right.
But it allows you to stay focused on getting the floor clear by just saying, I'm going to clear out enough space for these things.
This whole box right here is vintage things that my daughter and I have either scanned or have yet to scan.
Okay. You just said
this in my Etsy shop.
Okay. Where would you
doesn't fit in my closet?
Okay. The Ziploc that you just held up.
I can't go through the stuff in here. It's already like...
Nope. The Ziploc that you held up, because you gave me 3 different categories of things that are in there. That Ziploc of stuff that has at some point been put together, where would you look first for that stuff?
in this box.
Okay. If that box wasn't there because you don't want a box on the floor, right? Your goal is to not have a box on the floor. If that box wasn't there, where would you look first for it? Don't think too hard. You're looking for, you're like, I'm going to scan vintage stuff. Where would you look first for vintage stuff you're going to scan?
In the box.
Okay. If the box wasn't there.
If the box wasn't there, I don't know. I don't have another place.
That's actually the point. That's the point, is you don't know. So it's not where would it be? We're not asking where it would be. We're asking if this floor was clear, which is my goal.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my goodness, I need to scan some vintage stuff. Where would you reach first at what you assumed was the beginning of tearing your craft room apart for 3 hours searching for it? But where's the first place at the beginning of what you assumed was going to be 3 hours? Where's the first place you would look?
If it wasn't in this box?
Yep.
I don't have a spot. Let me see. Hold on.
It's not a matter of what's the best spot. It's a matter of the place you would look for.
I have a drawer in the bottom of my collects file that also has vintage things. Then I would probably put it with that.
That's where you would look first for vintage things to scan.
After the box, this would be my next spot to look.
Okay. Is there room for it in that drawer?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're good.
I can't go through all this.
You're not going to go through all of it.
Okay.
We're going to pick it up and give it a home. So pick up the next thing. Pick up the next thing that you can pick up with one hand. Mm-hmm. What is that?
This is vintage lace.
Okay. If you needed vintage lace, where would you look first for vintage lace?
I would look in here where I have my other lace. These are tickets. I'm going to put this with my other stuff.
Is that where you would look first for tickets?
I would. This, I'm going to put right here.
Because that's where you would look for that first?
Yeah, I'm going to put this in the Dollar Tree bucket.
See what you're doing here, which is great. You're doing great. You're not making a bigger mess. Things are going into the places where you would look for them first. Okay. What are you holding? Name it. Name what that is.
They're vintage, like old books. These could either be scanned or they could also go on my shelf with my vintage stuff.
Okay. If you were looking for vintage books, where would you look for them first?
On my shelf.
Okay. Put them on the shelf. Is there room for them?
Yes.
Okay.
This is painful. Okay. I can donate these. I'm not going to use these. Oh.
What is it?
This is a vintage needle thing that I would put in a journal. This is donate. I don't need this.
Okay. Go through that stack real quick and just see if there's anything else donate.
Yes.
Okay, just to make the stack smaller and less overwhelming.
All right. These I know where to put.
Okay. So go ahead and put them in where you know to put them.
I'll put all of this. And this, there we go. That could probably just be trash. Okay. It's getting full.
Okay. Is there any, can you just look in it real quick and see, is there anything that I actually don't need in here?
I'm going to get rid of these because they're all bent and yucky. I don't know what to do with this one. For baseball cards, but we put ephemera, vintage ephemera, like if I was to sell it on my Etsy shop.
Where would I look first if I needed shipping items for vintage ephemera?
I think I would keep it with my other vintage things for now.
You would, where would you look first for them? Not where would you keep them, but where would, if you were like, oh my goodness, I need to ship some vintage ephemera. And that's a word I honestly, I'm not sure exactly what it means, but anyway.
Yes.
Where would you go looking first for those things that you know that you have?
I have another drawer here that has other shipping items.
And that's where you would look first for those?
Honestly, I would look in the bottom drawer with the other.
Then if wherever you would look for it, that's where it needs to go.
These are vintage hankies. You're like, this is all garbage, Cara. No, it's not.
I never said it was garbage. Don't put words in my mouth.
Okay.
For real though, like we are not going to call your stuff garbage because it's not garbage. It's crafty stuff. So Where would you look first for vintage hankies?
I don't
Okay,
know.
don't look around. I want you to take a deep breath. I'm serious. Take a deep breath and picture yourself looking for vintage hankies. I'm going to ask you the second question because you don't have an immediate answer. If you needed vintage hankies, would it occur to you that you already had vintage hankies?
No, because I forgot that I had them.
Okay.
Because they were in this box.
If you would never go looking for them, what would you do? Would you go order some vintage hankies, or would you do without vintage hankies?
I have gone without. However, these would be really cute.
Okay. What would you go looking for some sort of other fabric?
Yes, all the time.
So if you were like, I would, if I didn't have if it never would occur to me, I've got vintage hankies, and you would go looking for fabric to do the same thing, then you'd be excited to find them there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So go there, and if there's room, you can keep them in that spot. I mean, we're not calling anything garbage because you realistically could use it. But if you wouldn't ever know that it was there and you would never go looking for it, then that's when it turns into clutter, right?
I would like to put this on my shelf so I can use it to display something, even though I'm not sure what I would display at this moment.
Okay, well, do you have something up there that could be displayed with it, even if it's not perfect, and you can go ahead and do that with it right now?
Sure. There we go. That's cute.
Now that item is not clutter anymore because it has a real home and it's doing a job.
This is a cigar box, and I would like to keep it.
Okay, which that's why we have our stuff, is because we like it, right? So if you needed an empty cigar box, where would you look first for an empty cigar box?
Somewhere on this shelf.
Okay. If you needed an empty cigar box, where would you look first? Like, where's the actual first spot where you would look for it?
And then I will see it. I have no idea what's in here.
Oh, it was trash?
Yeah, that was easy. These are vintage key things, I think.
Okay, if you were looking for vintage keys, where would you look for them first?
I have metal pieces that I use. I could probably put them with my other metal pieces.
So that's where, if you were looking for a metal piece to use in your crafts, you'd be excited to find those, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Ta-da! These are very cool, and I would definitely want to use them. They are old labels.
Let's take it there now and see, is there anything else that can go, obviously, in that space, like that you can see without pulling everything out?
I've had these forever and I've never used them. And then these are inside of books that I have a ton of because, we take our books apart for journaling. So I'm going to get rid of these.
So now is there space for that?
So an old scrapbook.
You needed an old scrapbook. Where would you look first for an old scrapbook?
I have other scrapbooks up here in my shelf.
Does that one deserve space up there more than some of the ones that are up there?
There's stuff in here that I would take out. That's just a project for another day.
Is it though? Because if you know that you don't want the whole scrapbook, but you can go through it and go, I want this, 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 and this, then that's a lot smaller thing to put in the place where you would look for that first. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
Okay.
you're saying do that right now?
Yeah.
Really?
If you do that, then you can get rid of that scrapbook, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
But that would make a cool cover too.
Okay. Well, then does it deserve space up there? Is there anything up there that you're like, you know what, actually that can go because I do love this thing? I know it's hard.
This is hard. This is hard.
Okay. Look up at that shelf. Go put them on that shelf.
Okay.
See if there's room for them on that shelf.
Oh man.
Oh, our timer just went off.
That's our hour?
Yep, that was the hour. can see what you're doing. Is there anything in there that you're like, oh, actually that can go? Nope.
Well, no.
Okay. All right. Well,
Stuff I really need to deal with. Like yeah.
Okay, we're done.
The box is done. That was awesome.
Okay, y'all. Wasn't that amazing? Okay, here's the before picture and here's the after picture. We did that in an hour. 1 hour. No, we're not finished, but we made so much more progress than she thought we would make. If you would like to see our debrief where we talk about how it went and how she felt as we went through it, go to Cara's channel. I have linked that in the description below. Also, just a reminder, there are other 1 hour better sessions that have been done with other crafting YouTubers and my certified decluttering coaches. If you are looking for someone to guide you through my no mess process, the way that I do it, I have those people. They are trained and certified by me in my decluttering strategies. You can find them at declutteringcoaches.com. Everyone listed there is trained and certified by me. Okay. All right. One more thing in case you're still here. A lot of times I hear from you who say, I want to see the whole entire hour. Well, guess what? Now there's a way to do that. It is exclusive to my Patreon members at the top tier, okay? Because, you know, it's a special perk to get to see the whole thing. So if you are interested in seeing the whole thing, if you're interested in being a patron, go to patreon.com/aslobcomesclean and you can find out more about what it means to be a patron and the perks that you get for being a patron. And one last reminder, go to aslobcomesclean.com/5, F-I-V-E, to get a printable of my 5-step process when you sign up for my newsletter. All right, I hope that was helpful. I will talk to y'all next week. Bye.